Is online marketing. This is chapter 2 of our digital analytics textbook. So in chapter 2, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into all of the various social media analytics available to us. They talk about some of the most used ones. Of course, we couldn't go into, as you saw in chapter 1, there are more than 7,000 different types of social media and websites and stuff where we can display advertising. We're obviously not going to go through 7,000 different websites side by side. Okay? So much like we talked about in chapter 7 of our digital marketing strategy book, goal setting is an important part of marketing. So we need to make goals that are measurable. We need to say what we're trying to accomplish from this goal. So what's our behavior that we're trying to create? Do we want to increase awareness about our product or a service or a charity? Or are we trying to convince our audience to complete a specific action? Give us your email address for a coupon. Spend $50 for free shipping. Place an order for 3 things to get a discount. So what's the action, the behavior we're trying to get to complete? How much is the change? How much do we want the behavior to change? So if they aren't currently buying with us, we want them to start buying with us. How long is the marketing campaign going to last? Is this a long-term campaign where we're going with a full brand strategy, or is this a short-term campaign that might last for a week or 2 weeks that's just very specific to a sale or a holiday season? And then develop our metrics so we know what we're measuring. How are we going to collect that information and determine whether or not we met that goal? In our measurement framework, first we have the objectives. So that's our overall strategy for the marketing campaign that we talked about. Then we need to create our key performance indicators or KPIs. So number of shares, number of impressions. That's how many times someone looks at our content. And then how we measure that performance. So are we trying to go from 5 unique views to 10 new unique views? So what's the thing that we're going to measure, and then how do we what number are we trying to get for that item? So we have owned social metrics. So these are social media sites where businesses can create a presence. So you can create a page for your business. You can also buy advertising on every single one of these social media sites. Okay? And if you have a page and or pay advertising, you get analytics for each one of these social media sites. So we're going to go through each one of them. So Facebook has a wide variety of analytics that you collect. So the total likes, so who follows your page and wants to see your content. How many people see your content. This includes the organic or viral, paid, whether they looked at your page or individual posts. The number of times a post from your page is displayed to any user. The number of users who click on your post, and the number of users who then not only just clicked on your post, but interact with it. They comment or they share it or they reacted to it. Video metrics, so views, view rate, and then the quartile. What the difference between the view rate and the quartile is that in views for video metrics on social media, the number of views is the number of people who looked at one of your videos for longer than 3 seconds. Then when we get into the view rate and the quartile rate, that gets into completion. So who opened one of your videos and watched the entire thing? And then the things that we can pay for, so cost per mention, cost per engagement, and cost per view. So based on how much you spent on advertising, how many times did that show up in someone's news feed? And then from that, how many times did someone engage with the stuff that showed up in their news feed? And you'll see on many of these social media tools, a lot of the analytics are similar. So you can see on Twitter the number of people that follow our account, the number of people who share our content. They can also mention our brands. They can link to us in one of their tweets, so the number of mentions. Twitter is same with video views, where you get the number of people who started to watch a video. That's anyone who watched for at least 3 seconds. And then another number of people who actually completed the video through to end. You also get efficiency with the cost per engagement, cost per view, and cost per click. You get a click-through rate from the number of people who click a link. So if you have a link in your Twitter post and someone clicks through that to get to a website or a landing page, you'll get the number of people who clicked through that link and went to your web page and stayed on your web page for longer than 1 second. And then the number of times someone viewed or had the opportunity to view content. So that also includes for impressions. That also includes just the number of times you showed up in somebody's feed, even if that person doesn't follow you or not. So that's usually a paid thing. If I'm advertising and I put an ad on Twitter, so impressions are the number of people who had the opportunity to see my ad, but then scrolled past it, versus the people who clicked through. As you can see, most of these social media sites, as we move through them, are going to be very similar. The one YouTube one is their views is that you have to watch longer than 30 seconds, versus on Facebook and Twitter that it's just 3 seconds. Okay? You have subscribers instead of followers. People can upvote or downvote your videos and comment on them. You'll also be told the number of times a video has been posted on another social network. And then SlideShare. So when the book talks about SlideShare, it says that most people probably wouldn't think of SlideShare as a social media account, but the site has 70 million monthly users. And so there are a lot of people coming to SlideShare every single month looking for information. So you can have followers, you can sign up to receive content when new content is posted by people that you like or want to see content from. You can see the number of people who have downloaded or shared your content. Pinterest. So we can advertise on Pinterest. We can also create a presence on Pinterest where we make boards and we pin things to boards. If people follow us then or repin the stuff that we've posted. And then we can also pay for the number of impressions and stuff like that. Instagram, very similar. Number of people who saw our stuff, the number of times our ads appeared in feeds, number of people who clicked through links in our profile, profile views, stories views, and then our post metrics. So how many people liked, commented, viewed it to completion, saved it, and Snapchat analytics. So Snapchat will tell us the number of people who opened and viewed for at least 1 second, the number of people who take a screenshot, the number of people who watch through to completion. So you can compare that to the number of people who just opened it. They also have what's called a fallout rate, and that is the difference from one snap to the next. So you can see how each snap compares to each other, and then you can see that some snaps are engaged with more than others to help you plan your marketing content. Another thing that Snapchat gives you that is unique is the time of day activity. So that's the time of day when the engagement with your content occurs. The nice thing about having time of day engagement is it helps you with those targeted ads. So I can target my ads during a specific time frame that users are generally interacting with my content already. LinkedIn, you can advertise on LinkedIn. You can create a business presence on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is trying to become more and more of an active social media site where people are sharing content and publishing content. They have a news feed where you can do that. If you do so, you can get information on the number of impressions, so the number of time it shows up or has been viewed, the demographics of the people who viewed it, and then how many people engaged with it. On your advertising, you can get cost per click and cost per mention. And then we have those earned social media metrics. So all of the things that we were talking about before were paid social media metrics, where earned social media metrics are the sharing, viral messaging. So not the things we pay for, but the things that our customers are doing. Our customer shares one of our posts. So how many times has that happened? Okay. Um, did I share your post outside of, so did I talk about your Facebook post on Twitter? Did I share your YouTube video on Facebook? So the in-network and the off-network conversations. So that earned conversation is when I share to a different social media, and the in-network is when it happens within the same social media platform. And then we can collect our website analytics. So we're going to look at some Google Analytics in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to see these kinds of things. So the number of times people have been on our site, a bounce rate is the number of visits in which the person leaves without clicking a second page. So we'll get, they came to our website from a link, that's our click-through rate, and then if they left before they looked at anything else. Pages per visit, so if I went to 3 or 4 pages in a single visit, where did I come from? Did I come from a Google search? Did I click through a Facebook ad? Did I click through a Twitter ad? Or did I just come directly to your website? And then conversion. Conversion is when someone takes an action on your website. I buy something, or I download something, or I give you my email address. And then digital marketing analytics or concepts within those analytics. So the first is A/B testing. A/B testing is a function where we compare different versions of an ad or a web page to determine which would perform better. So there are software systems that we can use to do this A/B testing. So it's A, which is better, A or B. Then digital display ads, this is the most common form of advertising, where a photo, a video, or a graphic is displayed on a web page. Ad exchange, this is a specific kind of marketplace where advertisers can buy and sell inventory for our advertising space. So this might be a place where I can find out all of the blogs that allow ads on their blogs and how many users they have on their blog. And then I can buy space on that blog through that exchange. Ad inventory is the number of potential ads a web publisher will display. So maybe a blog will only display 3 ads at a time. Ad serving, this is the delivery of an ad from a server to the end user's device. A cookie tracks My movement on a website remembers behavior and preferences. So you'll see you have to opt into cookies. Yes, I'm going to let you track my activities, which then allows you to target advertising to me. And then demand side platform. So again, this comes back to that ad exchange. Digital management platform. I talked about that in chapter 1. A third party like Hootsuite that allows me to pull from multiple sources. Frequency, the number of times an ad is shown to the same consumer. Lookalike audience would be targeting an audience who is similar to my existing customers. Native advertising, so this is similar to TV advertising, billboard advertising. Okay, so it's the same across all. Programmatic media buying, so an automated method of buying media that ensures we reach the right person at the right time. This ties into paid per click advertising, where we pay for keyword search in Google so that when our consumers are Googling specific keywords, our ads will pop up at that time. Viewability, so that's a metric that tracks only the impressions that can actually be seen by users. And then, of course, paid search versus organic search. So paid search ties to an ad to specific keywords. So I create an ad, I pick the keywords that I want to target, and then when people put that into an internet search, my ad will come up because I pay for it to come up. In an organic search, this is SEO or unpaid for. This is where I come up just because of what somebody types into a search engine. Of course, as a marketer, we need to understand both searches and which keyword searches cause our information to appear. So how does a person get our information to appear based on a keyword search? There are a lot of different ways that we can use keywords to try to promote our content. That is the end of chapter 2 in the digital marketing analytics.